Welcome to Lesson 2, What is Local SEO? In this lesson, we're going to talk about the three most important things for local SEO, but we're just going to touch the surface there because we're going to do an entire lesson on that later on. But we're going to look at the different factors that are important. The big thing here is we want to differentiate between local SEO and normal SEO, which is actually better qualified as national SEO. Okay, so the main point of this lesson is to help you realize that there are different flavors of SEO out there, and when you go out to learn more things, which I hope you do, most of the content is about national SEO. But what we're doing is called local SEO, and it's much different. And honestly, national SEOs don't comprehend local SEO at the level that we do, and we won't understand national SEO at the level they do. That's okay. It's like trying to get two doctors to do similar but different specialties to explain what the other one does. They're going to get things wrong because they just don't do that every day. That's fine, and it's good for us to have friends in the national SEO space. It's good to listen to the things that are working in the national SEO space, but always think about it through the lens of local SEO, which is much different. So let's get started really quickly and just talk about what is local SEO. So local SEO is search engine optimization related to a specific geographic area. More specifically, it's typically for businesses that serve local customers. It can also be clients, patients, whatever. The business type doesn't really matter, but if you serve local customers, then you are probably needing to do some form of local SEO. Now, you might rightfully think, well, what if I can serve clients outside of my local area? Well, then you will also be interested in national SEO, but that's more of a mixed approach. And in this course, we're pretty much only going to consider local SEO. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be considering national SEO. If you're like me and you can serve clients in other areas, you should consider how you can do that. However, this course is just going to be focused on serving your local customers, clients, patients, and that's important because when you're first starting out, usually those local customers are the ones you can serve first, and from there you can build out a more advanced mixed strategy. Now, before we talk about what's important for local SEO, let's take a second to discuss the other flavors of SEO that are out there. Now, the most popular by far is national SEO. National SEO is for industries that can serve anywhere, or if you just have informational content and anybody can access it. This is national SEO. You could serve people all over the country, maybe even all over the world, but national SEO is just trying to rank for keywords not tied to a geographic area. Again, you might be interested in doing this, and this is what the vast majority of SEO is out there. So when you go and take an SEO course, know that they're probably talking about national SEO. When you watch a viral YouTube video about SEO, they're probably talking about national SEO. And the way that national SEO works, kind of in a nutshell, I'm going to totally simplify it, and national SEO friends are going to be mad at me for breaking it down this simply, but to put it in simple terms, I would say that they're working on trying to rank for informational intent keywords. Don't worry, we'll break that down a lot more later on, but to put it simply, it just means when you're trying to figure something out. Should I fix my sink if it's leaking? What are the best hiking boots for wintertime in Central Oregon? These are informational intent keywords, and the best answers for that are typically blogs. That's why national SEOs are usually concerned with writing blogs. And on the back end of those blogs, they might have a call to action to buy their services, if maybe they're an online coach that serves people all over the country or the world. Or they might write these blogs with affiliate links so they can make money off the affiliate links for those hiking boots that are really popular in Central Oregon in the summertime. Most of the content on the internet is around national SEO. We are not doing that. We are doing local SEO. We are tied to a specific geographic area. So that doesn't mean we can't learn from national SEO. It just means that's not what we do. What are some other flavors out there? Well, there's also international SEO, and that doesn't necessarily just mean crossing borders. It typically means multilingual SEO. And so if you can serve clients in separate countries and they speak different languages, you're trying to rank for different keywords in different languages. We are definitely not going to talk about that in this course. Another flavor that's really important is e-commerce SEO. We're going to put a lot of work on what I like to call the money pages for local SEO. And that's your home page and your individual service pages. Don't worry, we're going to talk a lot about that coming up in a little bit. But your money pages for e-commerce SEO also includes your product pages and also your product category pages, because you might want to rank for a specific type of jackets, and then below that you want your specific jackets ranking, right? That's a whole nother ball game. We will not talk about that in this course. And if you're thinking about offering local SEO services, you want to make sure you have this little box that you live in, because you're going to find people that have e-commerce stores. You're going to find people that are trying to attract a national audience. And you basically have to tell them, I don't do that. Because if you get too far into the weeds in either of the other flavors of SEO that are out there, you will get sucked down a rabbit hole and you will spread yourself too thin. You will be a Jack or Jill of all trades and a master of none. That's why we are focusing on local SEO, a great service to add on if you're already a web designer, graphic designer, social media manager, or something you want to focus on if you have a local business yourself. Now that we've talked about the different flavors of SEO, let's go back to focusing on local SEO. What matters for local SEO? Well, it's basically three things: your Google business profile, your website, and backlinks. Don't worry, we have an entire lesson on that, lesson 5, where I break this down in more detail. But I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to show you this resource that we're going to use as gospel throughout the course that's influencing our decisions that we make. Over here is a document, which will be linked in the resources below, called Local Search Ranking Factors. And it's put together by Whitespark, which is this digital marketing agency in Canada. And they interview all these people down here at the bottom of the list. These people are digital marketing agency owners or SEO influencers. And I follow a lot of these people online because they're very cool and they offer a lot of good resources. So what they do is they survey them on 149 factors, and these experts rank the importance of these factors on a scale of 0 to 5. In lesson 6, we're going to break down the top 20 most important factors for showing up in the map pack, which is where the Google business profiles land. And we're also going to look at the top 20 most important factors for organic SEO, which are the blue links below the map pack. If you can't remember that, go back to the last lesson when we talked about SERPs, which stands for Search Engine Result Page. In that lesson, we're also going to talk about what's not important. So that's a super awesome lesson. But right now, what I want you to focus on are these two graphs right here. And so the first graph is showing you the ranking factor groups, and it's broken down by local pack, which is what we call the map pack, and it's also broken down by local organic, which is organic SEO or the blue links. On the left, we can see the different signals that matter for trying to rank in the map pack. You'll see that the most important factor is the Google business profile. That makes sense, right? But the second most important, at 20%, according to these experts that were interviewed, is on-page signals. On-page signals. So that means your website is the second most important thing for showing up in the map pack, which is actually your Google business profile. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's the way it works. The third most important thing is review signals. And so those are your reviews you get on the Google business profile. And then below that, we actually have backlinks coming up as important for Google business profile. And don't worry, we'll talk more about backlinks as we go throughout the course. And then there's something called behavioral signals, which is basically how people are interacting either with the Google business profile or the page that the Google business profile points to. And then the last one that I'm going to mention is citation signals. And those are these directories that you can list your website on the internet. There's also a factor for personalization, but that's something we have no control over. And that's basically like if you search something multiple times, Google will show it to you again, like you searched this before, remember? We've all probably seen that as we're Googling about. We have no control over that, so I'm just not going to talk a lot about it. Now, those are the things that are important for showing up in the map pack. Now, if you're following along at home, you probably know that SGE, or Google's Search Generative Experience, is right around the corner, and you might be worried how that's going to affect the map pack. Well, I want to show you this. So I searched for web design Portland, Oregon on my personal account where I have Google Labs turned on, and I searched for that and I generated this local panel result. And I want you to see how similar that looks to the map pack. And so it's very similar, and instead of 3 spots, you have 5 spots. And so I don't think it's a whole lot different. And actually, if you look of the first 2, of these 5, all 3 of them are showing up in the map pack. So there's probably not a whole lot of difference. And so we can basically assume if it's working to show up in the map pack, it'll probably help us show up in this AI local panel that's coming out in the near future. So now let's talk about the most important factors for organic SEO. As you can see, which makes sense, the website is by far the most important factor for showing up for the organic SEO, which are the blue links below the map pack. And then the next one, which is very big, like look, over half of the pie are these 2 things, it's backlinks. And so we're going to talk a lot about how the way we show up for organic SEO is we work on our website and we look for locally relevant and industry relevant backlinks. Got it? Got it. The next one up is actually a tie between behavioral signals, which is how people interact with the website, and Google Business Profile signals. Now you may be wondering, how the heck does Google know what we're doing on our website? Well, they're tracking us. Why wouldn't they? Now, what are they looking for? They're probably looking for something called a bounce. We'll talk more about this later, but that's when you go to a website and you immediately leave. If they keep seeing people doing that, then they're probably giving them a bad result, and they don't want to do that. And so they're checking things like that. So they might be able to do that without even seeing what you're doing on the next website, right? They're just noticing that you're coming back to their website. And there's a lot of things that they could measure beyond that, but that's all we're going to talk about right now. But notice that the Google Business Profile could also influence where you're ranking in the organic search results. So that's interesting. The next one down is personalization, which I said I'm going to skip. And then the next one down is citation signals. So those are those citation websites that we were talking about. And then the last one is reviews. So your reviews can even help you rank higher in organic search results. So that's awesome. Now I want you to see the changes over time. Like we said in lesson 1, the algorithm changes over time. Now back in 2015, when they first did these local search ranking factors, the Google Business Profile, I think, was called Google Places. And so it just wasn't that important. In fact, citations were more important than the GBP signals, which would have been from Google Places. And then over time, as it became Google My Business and then Google Business Profiles, it became super important. And it seems like it's plateauing around this place right here. And then the website back in the day used to be the most important. Then it really dropped off, but it's picking back up. So it's really important to have a website you can control if you want to control where you're showing up in these search engine result pages. Notice that reviews have really shot up, and notice that backlinks are trending down. Now, even though they're trending down, they're still important. So we want to make sure we're looking at these things. Behavioral signals were trending down, but seem to be back on the uptick, and people believe that this is going to continue. So we want to make sure that we have a high quality website that encourages people to stay on it or to convert, which means they call us or they fill out a contact form. And then the other thing that's really trending down are citation signals. And so those have gone way down and seem to be trending down still. Now, unlike backlinks, where I'm going to encourage you to continue to strive to get some backlinks, some high quality backlinks. Again, don't go buy backlinks on Fiverr or Upwork. Please don't do that. But when it comes to citations, their importance has trended down so much that I really think it's almost completely unimportant to worry about citations, but I'll talk about some places where you could get citations way later on in the SEO campaign for your client. Now, the big thing I want you to really take away from this lesson is notice that to show up in the map pack, not only do you need to work on your Google Business Profile, which is the little rectangles that show up next to the map, right? But you also have to work on your website. And then notice that to show up in the organic blue links below the map pack, you have to work on your Google Business Profile. So these things go hand in hand. So in this lesson, we learned the differences between local SEO and the other flavors of SEO, particularly national SEO, which is what we usually think of when we think of SEO. But we also learned what's important. It's taking care of the Google Business Profile and the website hand in hand. We want to keep those in sync, and we want to take care of them because that is how we show up for local search results. And in the next lesson, we're going to find out why the heck we should even care about local SEO. Let's get into it.